Education and intelligence aren't the same thing. Just because you're educated doesn't make you intelligent. And just because you're not educated doesn't make you unintelligent. In fact, the good news for South Africa is that we have a huge number of people who are really intelligent. And I know this because I see it. People come through our MBA programs and other programs, and they work their way through from really difficult circumstances, working in homes with light bulbs, surrounded by the family, walking to school, and they're sitting in the same classroom with people with privileged education, and they're doing as well, and they're motivated, and they really want to push themselves up. So the good news again for South Africa is that we have this pool of talent, and this pool of talent is what will lift us if we can encourage people and motivate them to truly engage in education.
From my own perspective, I've always believed that Africa is full of potential and there's a whole lot of possibilities that exist here. And I mean, whatever circumstances you come from, and you've seen Africa, and you've seen like some of the horrendous circumstances that people live in, but then you've heard amazing stories of people coming out of it and just doing great things. And that's not like an exception, it's kind of the rule. Things happen like that all the time in Africa. If I had to make an example of myself, I grew up with a single mother who only worked a few months in the year, but I managed to get my degree at university. I mean, I am an example of someone else, someone that's not in my family, someone that's not a friend, and that hasn't grown up with me, that comes and sees something and they tell me what they see. They speak about the possibility, and they say, like, you know, just because something looks like this doesn't mean that it's going to end up looking like this. So, you know, even if it's just in your small world, and if it's someone that you see that has potential, say it, because people need to hear.
I believe that Africans have innate creativity that just needs to be refined. It's the skill that just needs to be refined for people to tap into their whole brain thinking. Youth need to be given the confidence to come up with their own solutions, to be empowered to think about problems, think about solutions, and be given the liberty to execute things that they come up with.
Being part of this transformation and the change and the democracy, I feel honored, and most importantly, I feel like I can be part of the change. Now it's time for us to tell our own stories and be the voice and be heard all over the world. Of showing Ubuntu, showing our culture. The way they see me, they say I'm representing them, you know, even if wherever I am, because whatever information that I engage, whatever things that I've learned there in life, you know, I give back to them. I say, these are things that I knew now, this is the change that I think. So the influence of the whole community, you know, has played a major role in my life.
For me, it's how can Africa form something which is African and not be influenced by, you know, we've had colonialism for many years, how it can become itself, right? And I think defining African leadership and self-determination is important.
There's a saying that problems cannot be solved with the same mindset that created the problem. So I think, first of all, we need to change our perspective of the way we look at things as Africans. Stop looking at ourselves as a little under-resourced continent that doesn't have access to good infrastructure or good technology or good things in life, but rather see the potential that is within and use the little that we have. Let's see ourselves for the future. What do we envision for the future of this continent?
We know that we have the talent here in Africa to build a really confident, capable, transnational Africa, an Africa where people really have the abilities to engage in international business, the confidence to negotiate and to travel, and the ability really in the end to develop the skills that will make them recognized and will build the businesses that will build a great continent.